Springtrap has been nerfed again, and you might as well say goodbye to one of his best add-ons. Kill rates are plummeting out of nowhere, and there's some interesting conspiracies on why that is. Killer queue times continue to rise, and there seems to be no end in sight. And finally, survivors are about to get an insane buff soon, which will have some serious implications on the balance of the game. Is right now the worst time to play killer? We'll talk about all that and more, but now it's time to stay in the loop. Alright, so I just got back from a 2-week trip to Mexico. I got married, and what did Behavior get me for my wedding gift? They nerfed Springtrap. It's not really surprising. Behavior has this tendency of dropping a killer, waiting a few weeks, and then nerfing them. And while some people think this is just a cash grab, I don't really subscribe to that. I think more so, well, I think it's twofold. I think maybe he wasn't really playing how they intended his playstyle to be, and I think there was a certain add-on that was really powerful. That add-on was Bonnie's guitar strings. So Bonnie's guitar string was an add-on basically used by everybody, and it got nerfed a fair bit. With this most recent update, Bonnie's guitar strings no longer grants you undetectable while leaving a security door. So I don't really think this add-on is going to be super popular now that you lose your undetectable status. They also nerfed the security guard's badge add-on, which that granted you an increased duration of undetectable when leaving security doors. So those were the two main add-ons that got nerfed. But there was also 2 that got buffed. So I don't know if you guys remember, Foxy's Hook was very popular in the PTB. It actually got nerfed going live. That's been buffed again. Foxy's Hook was the one that allowed you to throw your axe on the ground, and it gave a haste boost to anyone within the area. So the haste boost for Foxy's Hook went from 3 seconds to 6 seconds. So that's good to see. I think that add-on is going to be a lot more popular now. And Endo CPU also got buffed. This was not an add-on I had used at all. It's like Foxy's Hook, but instead of haste, you get increased break speed. So it's like brutal strength when you throw your axe in an area, but it gives you a 40% breaking speed boost now. So that one's going to be a lot of fun to try. If you haven't tried out the Endo computer yet, I'd definitely give that one a go. There's other add-on changes. I really don't want to talk about them all, so I'll put them up on the screen. But with all these changes, what tier do you think Springtrap is in now? I've always said that Springtrap's a B-tier killer. Some people thought with Bonnie's guitar strings that pushed him into an A-tier killer. But now that that add-on's nerfed, what do you guys think? Me personally, I don't think this nerf is the end of the world. I think Behavior more so just wanted to change the playstyle. So maybe instead of teleporting to a gen and pushing people off and more that hit-and-run playstyle, to more of a strong chase killer. So with Foxy's Hook, I see a lot of people using the axe like Clown's Haste Bottle, which is cool to see. And there's also some interesting things you can do with the Endo computer with throwing the axe and then breaking a pallet. So yeah, I like Springtrap's add-on set, and I don't think this nerf is the end of the world. And Springtrap's not the only killer that's having some issues right now, because kill rates for all killers are dropping. Nightlight.gg has shown kill rates completely plummeting, but Dead by Daylight came out saying those stats aren't correct. So for those who don't know, Nightlight.gg is an independent site that collects stats. Now, mind you, a lot of people use this before Dead by Daylight released their own stat page. But on Nightlight.gg, they're showing kill rates plummet for all killers. And there's a few theories on why this is. A lot of people have reported that gens are just popping faster. Have you gotten into a game recently where like 2 gens pop before the killer even gets the first down? A lot of people have been feeling that way, and there's been reports that they increase gen speed, which I don't think is true. Like, you're telling me nobody has tested this side by side with an old clip? Like, I feel like people would have figured that out real quick. Now, a more common theory is because of the changes to the spawn logic. Now, when they made the change to spawn logic, that's actually a killer buff. Like, you want survivors to spawn together, so when you go to chase them, they all have to scatter. They're not off doing gens. It's good for you. But recently, I don't know. It's just gens just seem to be popping faster. So the theory is that good Swifts will bring the spawn of separation and separate and work on gens while one person's getting chased, while solo queue now spawn together and they just jump on a gen and kind of rush that quickly. So maybe the spawn changes are having an adverse effect on killers. You know, and some people have mentioned too that it's the anti-go next prevention that's causing this. And I don't think that's correct at all. Like 2 gens are popping before the first chase sometimes, or at least one. And would it really be because someone didn't kill themselves on hook? Like, I'm not even getting my first hook and gens are popping. So I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, killers are having a tougher time. The kill rates on nightlight.gg are dropping, but Dead by Daylight came out and said that's not the case from the stats that they're seeing. And I would genuinely trust Dead by Daylight's stats more than nightlight.gg. I mean, I feel like Dead by Daylight would have access to more stats, but something definitely does feel different. Let me know, do you feel like something in the game has changed? Do you think it's easier as survivor? Do you think it's harder as killer? Or do you feel like everyone's just being a little bit dramatic? Which could be the case, I don't know. But one thing I do know is that it seems like bugs inside the game have hit an all-time high. Look, when Springtrap released came a lot of bugs, and they fixed them, but mainly just the Springtrap bugs. There's other killers right now that have now been bugged, and they still haven't fixed them. So let's talk about Sadako, my main. Right now, if you play Sadako, there's a bug on the TVs. When you're going to teleport, you'll basically see a notification over all the TVs, whether they're turned off or not. And if you're on the other side of the map, you really have to like lean in and squint to see, is the TV on or is it just the notification? So you now have to check for the TV and the little notification marker above it. And because Sadako relies so much on TV control, this is a brutal bug because you really can't see the TVs that well. So that hasn't been fixed. There was a Kaneki bug that I believe still isn't fixed, where you could sling forward, but you couldn't sling to the left or to the right. And mind you, I don't think people are super sympathetic towards Kaneki because there's a lot of Kaneki haters out there. There's a lot of people that are like, delete him from the game, you know, nerf him into the ground, all this. And I will agree he's pretty powerful, but still, like, they should probably fix these bugs. I get it. You know, he's super strong and now he's not as strong, but you shouldn't have the bugs in the game. The artist was kill switched because it was crashing people's games, but they fixed her and she's back in the game, which is good. But it's like, come on, I haven't been able to play Sadako for 2 weeks. And mind you, I've been in Mexico, but shit, even if I wasn't in Mexico, I wouldn't be able to play. Have you guys experienced any bugs that they still haven't fixed? Let me know. And let me know how your killer queue times have been, because mine have been terrible. For whatever reason, it seems like the past 3 months have been brutal for killers. We had the 2v8 queue times, then we had the spring queue times, and it's like, where's the relief? You know, I know the devs mentioned maybe a system where you could queue up for survivor while you're waiting on your killer game, and that would be cool, but that still hasn't come. But I do believe things are gonna get better. Let's pull up the year 10 roadmap. Now you can see there's 2 new licensed survivors that are coming in July. I think the rumor is that that's going to be the Walking Dead collab, but regardless, that's going to bring more people to play Survivor, which will lower the killer queue times. And the good thing is, in September when they release a killer, they're also releasing a Survivor with that. In November, they're going to release a licensed killer and 2 new survivors. And then in March, they're going to release another Survivor. So hopefully good things coming on the way for killer queue times. But man, for me, I think I loaded up a game this morning and it took like 12 minutes. Absolutely brutal. And before we get into the huge survivor buff that's coming, if you're enjoying the video so far, make sure to subscribe. We just hit 15K and you're going to want to subscribe before 20K so you can say you were here early. Like, think about 30 years ago if you were given the opportunity to invest in Toys R Us. Yeah, you wouldn't have been too happy with the bankruptcy, but they're back now and they seem to be doing fine. All right, maybe that was a bad example, but subscribe. So survivors are receiving a huge buff that may or may not break the game. During the next Chaos Shuffle event, they're going to be testing out Base Kit Unbreakable for survivors. So what that means is down survivors are going to be able to fully recover to the injured state. This is a little scary for killers because slugging is a viable tactic that killers use to win. I do like how they're trying this out in Chaos Shuffle because it's kind of like a mini PTB, or I guess it's like a bigger PTB, because I think Chaos Shuffle would have more players than a PTB would. I don't know. Don't check my math on that, but I think it is cool to try it out in Chaos Shuffle. During Chaos Shuffle, they're going to be disabling a lot of perks. The main 2 for killer are Deer Stalker and A Nurse's Calling, so you won't be able to see the aura of the down survivors. And for survivor, they're obviously disabling Unbreakable, Plot Twist, Tenacity, those perks. A few other as well. But how do you guys feel about this change? Now, I know it's been called for a lot by survivors, because I will admit it's not fun just laying on the ground bleeding out. But there's a reason killers have to slug sometimes, and that's because they're trying to win the game. Now, if they do make this change, I would say it has to probably come with some changes to maybe like gen progress. Maybe like gens take longer to complete. I guess we're gonna find out pretty soon, because it seems like the only change they're making is the base kit Unbreakable. Unless I missed it, I don't think they're making any changes on the killer side of things. survivors, like for gen speed, anything in there, anything that benefits the killer side, I guess you could say. So yeah, I mean, I think it could be really good for the quality of life of some survivors, but I think it could be really bad for the balance of the game. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see how it plays out. I try to avoid jumping to conclusions before we're able to see, I guess, the impact of it. Killers are definitely gonna have their hands full, but don't worry, it's gonna be okay. And if you want to watch the last video of In the Loop, you can click this video right here.